Snapping has to do with the precision with which you can arrange things inside of the event display. And a good analogy to think of how snapping works across this timeline is if you watch American football, where they're moving the chains down the grid to determine where the first, second, and third downs are. And so the precision with which that can be done is handled by snapping. The button to turn snap on and off is right here. You can also do it with the J key command, which is much faster. Here's the difference between snap on and off. Right now I have snap off, and if I move my playback position to somewhere on this grid or the timeline and then lift off my mouse button, you'll notice that I can place that anywhere I want. It doesn't actually snap to these bar lines. So I could put it here between measure 7 or here between measure 8 or 9, and as soon as I lift off, that's where the cursor stays, right here. But if I wanted to snap that position to a musical location, like a bar line, then I'd want to make sure that snap is on, that it's set to grid, and that it's set to the bar grid type. Now, when I move that playback position cursor somewhere else, like right here, close to measure 9, and then lift off the mouse button, watch what happens. It snaps right to the bar. Or if I wanted to move the playback position to measure 10, I can click and drag that over and get close to measure 10, and as soon as I lift off, it snaps right to measure 10. So that's how snapping works, and that's going to be important for doing things like placing locators or moving events. So make sure that you have snap turned on right now. And if you would rather snap to beats instead of bars, you can change the grid type to beat. That way, if I wanted to place the playback position at measure 9 but count number 3, then I could get it close to the count of 3, and it snaps right to that count. Or if I needed higher precision than that, I could change it to use quantize, and then it's going to use the quantize setting that I have here. For example, eighth notes. Here, if I wanted to get to the 7th eighth note of measure 9, I can drag my playback position close to that 7th eighth note, and it'll snap right to it. But I'm going to set that grid type back to the bar because I'll just be working with bars to start with for the most part here. And next I'll tell you the difference between events and data.